If you are seeing my video for the first time, please kindly subscribe to my channel, and if you are watching on Facebook, please kindly click the follow button for more information like this. Thank you. Just take a look.
Iran has been on fire since yesterday. I see all internet just silent. Nobody they carry the news. Oh, Iran is burning. May they not deceive now. Social media warrior where they talk say they don't win war. We are in the week 5 of this ongoing campaign in Iran. Steel manufacturing and nuclear development facility is all burnt down. In fact, over 80 bombs dropped in a single night yesterday. Donald Trump even said in his post that they have a very good day yesterday in Iran, destroying all their missile sites. Iran weapon production sites dismantled. Anti-tank and anti-aircraft compound manufacturer hit. Ballistic missiles engine Arrow and D complex attacked. Multiple weapon production sites destroyed yesterday. They finish Iran. Nothing remain for Iran again. May they just come to the negotiation table and surrender, because this second phase where America tell they come so with the boots on the ground, they go hear pepper, they go hear ngwe, they go cry blood. How are we? They know the plan of Donald Trump. They say Donald Trump is not. Will it be straightforward? How will it be straightforward? If it's be straightforward, you people will know his secret. You will know his status. You will know his next move. So, because he said that they are on negotiating table and the negotiation is going well, but as long as the negotiation is going well, bomb is still flying on the air. Then they say, you said you are negotiating in one side, in the other side, you are bringing more military to the table, you are bringing more military on ground, you are bringing more troops to Middle East, and you say you are negotiating. That is how it works. It's peace with strength. Peace with strength works together. You cannot be making peace and just hold on. No, you have to continue, putting pressure on them for them to accept your 15-peace deal and come to the negotiation table. That is what Donald Trump is doing here. And they want to understand him. How will you understand a man like Donald Trump that have different ways of tactics to attack an enemy? If you can't let them know in full plan, know how to fight, to pass it, they are all confused. Everybody are confused. The European are confused. The NATO are confused. They don't understand this man. You say one thing now, Donald Trump will talk one today. Tomorrow he will do a different. But before we continue, let's listen to this update coming out right now from Israel. Let's listen to it.
First, we turn it over to Trey Inks in Israel with the latest on the Iran war. Trey.
Todd Carley, good morning. Operation Epic Fury has now entered week 5, and the United States continues to hammer the Iranian regime. Overnight, President Trump took to Truth Social to say, quote, "Big day in Iran. Many long sought-after targets have been taken out and destroyed by our great military, the finest and most lethal in the world. God bless you all." The president's comments come after a series of U.S. and Israeli strikes over the weekend that targeted Iran's steel manufacturing sites and nuclear development facilities. Reports indicate the president is considering a limited ground operation inside of Iran, following the arrival of the USS Tripoli, manned with 3,500 troops, including 2,500 Marines, to the CENTCOM area of operation. The president was asked about the status of military plans yesterday, saying this.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good. Moving along very nicely.
Are you considering still putting boots on the ground, and would you do that without going to Congress?
I just have lots of alternatives. We have tremendous numbers of ships over there. We don't need them all because of, the power. We're ahead of schedule with Iran.
As the war grinds on, Iran is continuing its ballistic missile attacks against Israel, focusing attacks on southern Israel in recent days. A chemical plant outside the city of Beersheba was hit with a missile fragment yesterday, causing toxic black smoke to spew from the facility. The area around the plant was evacuated. With these strikes ongoing, a spokesperson for Iran's IRGC talked over the weekend about the war and President Trump.
Trump threatens an issue one morning and retreats that same evening. He talks about negotiations for a while and decides to continue the war hours later.
What the Iranians don't understand is that President Trump wants them to be confused about the military plans for the United States. We also have another development to report this hour. The Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah launched rockets over the border a few minutes ago. A fragment from one of those rockets hit the oil refinery in the northern Israeli city of Haifa. Guys?
All right, Trey Yingst live for us in Israel. Trey, thank you so much. Let's bring in retired Navy SEAL and host of the Everyday Warrior podcast, Mike Sarraille. Mike, thanks for joining us. So that is the question here. The president says that he has a lot of options when asked about ground troops, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio also made comments this weekend saying that we absolutely can achieve our objectives without troops on the ground. But at the same time, there is this military buildup with the USS Tripoli in the region right now. So where do you think things are going as we enter a new week here?
Well, Carly, great to join you this morning. You know, Trump is creating leverage through optionality. And when you send the Marines, that becomes real consequences for our adversaries. And he wants Tehran to know that. But, you know, this looming ground invasion, Iran wants us to think Fallujah 2.0. I guarantee you the Pentagon is thinking limited combat operations, which is controlled violence with a map while keeping an eye on the clock. We will not get bogged down in another Iraq-style, sort of mission. And so this is not a 2003 Iraq sort of road to Tehran march. This is limited objectives. That's either key nodes, seizure of infrastructure, or even nuclear material. But that leverage is what gives Trump strength in these negotiations with Iran.
Iranian officials have made comments saying the U.S. is unaware that our men are waiting for American soldiers to enter on the ground so they can set them ablaze and punish their regional partners forever. What should we know about Iran's military if troops do go enter on the ground?
Well, Carly, let's look back in history. Iran actually has experience here. They were providing, Iranian special forces known as Quds forces to support the Saudi or the Mahdar militia in Sadr City in 2008. And they were very violent. Ultimately, Iran can't stand conventional army to conventional army. They would get decimated. So what they're looking at and what they understand is the survival of the regime, meaning their soldiers, hundreds of thousands to include the Basij, would trade their uniforms for plain clothes, move into urban centers, hide amongst the populace, and create this irregular asymmetric warfare, which we know in urban environments, and even RAND and the U.S. War College have done studies where urban combat actually declines your technological advantage and bogs you down in a, let's say, manpower-intensive, block-to-block fighting style, which leads to a lot of casualties.
Wow, yeah.
We know that.
Yeah, and you know, Mike, on that note, the Wall Street Journal has a piece detailing just how complicated extracting the nuclear uranium, the uranium material would be. And the bottom line that they have come to is that it would take days to weeks to extract. So the chances of that happening, in your opinion, are what?
I would say they're still high. I mean, a large part of the objectives of this campaign was to remove their ability to enrich uranium, also to even hold uranium. So, think of a Marine or 82nd Airborne style special operations limited raid to go in and seize that material. Now, can we hold it for days and weeks? Yes, given our war power and our strength, we can do that. There's a lot of risk.
That sounds remarkable. And then finally, really quickly to you, because the other big news is that the president says that Iran has agreed to allow 20 more ships of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Do you think that is a sign that they could be willing to negotiate, or could that be self-serving?
No, it's about the regime and their survival. I think what we're seeing is a power struggle within the remaining leaders in Iran. People are trying to consolidate power. So right now, a lot of the conversations are going through the parliament speaker, Ghalibaf, and he's consolidating power. So they are going to give a little, knowing the consequences that we're surging troops, the Marines and the 82nd Airborne forward. They are trying to find the right negotiation standpoints to maintain the survivability of this regime moving forward. That's all they care about.
Yeah. And, as Trey was reporting, Hezbollah once again striking Israel. And yesterday, the Houthis also entered the situation with 2 missile strikes launched against Israel as well. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. We